Hello, I'm Crispin and welcome to Poker Room Review, your travel guide for live poker rooms all across the world. In each episode, we review a live poker venue, discussing the important things you need to know when planning your next poker destination. For each venue, we review location and access, game options, service and experience, and Rake and Rewards. We also discuss the rules, quirks, and issues facing each venue we review. In this episode, we're at Crown Entertainment Complex in Perth, Australia. Australia is a blessed island continent with only around 28 million people. However, the overwhelming majority of the population lives in one of the major coastal cities, and the biggest city in the west by far is Perth. This is a city that has been completely transformed through the export of natural resources and is now one of the most affluent and gorgeous places in the world. The city's sole casino boasts a poker room, so let's get into it. Category 1, Location and Access. Crown Casino is situated in a picturesque location on Perth's Swan River across from the Central Business District and adjacent to a major sports stadium. Crown is only a 15-minute drive from the Perth International Airport, and several rideshare options exist, including Uber and Didi. There is also a much cheaper bus that can be taken from the airport during most times, although of course it's much slower. If you're driving to Crown, that's great. There's an abundance of free parking, and also if you're playing poker, you can access the undercover parking areas for free. Just bring your ticket to the poker room and they'll validate it for you, so when you leave, you're not paying anything. Accommodation options are boundless, with Crown itself having 3 branded hotels on site, although these are quite pricey. Cheaper options are available in the nearby CBD. Crown Casino is a fair walk from the Central Business District, but does boast stunning river views. Instead, you can take a short train ride from the city to Burswood train station and either walk from there or take a complimentary shuttle. While anyone aged 18 and over is permitted to enter, note the security is strict. So if you look under the age of 30, you will definitely get your ID checked, so always remember to bring it with you. The poker room is located on the main gaming floor and is simple to find once inside. With the casino's prominent position along the riverbank, central location, and easy airport transfers, Crown Perth is accessible from anywhere in the city and straightforward to get to once you arrive. The only drawback is that it is quite a long walk from accommodation unless you remain on site. 4 stars. 2. Game options. Consumer choice at Crown Perth is a story of what once was. Prior to the pandemic, Crown Perth ran frequent and impressive tournaments with many cash tables at multiple stake levels. Since then, things have rolled back in the poker room a ton. Even since the opening up, no tournaments are being run and it's mostly just cash games at a single stake level. Most cash games are 2-5 Australian, which is now the lowest stake level with a maximum 100 big blind buy-in. There is a 5-5 cash table getting up on weekends with a maximum buy-in of 200 big blinds. All of these are no limit Texas Hold'em, and while occasionally a PLO cash table might get up, this hardly ever happens. The other problem is that the hours games are run have been drastically curtailed. Frequent adjustments are made, so this could easily change, but presently the poker room is operating from 6 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Monday to Thursday, and then from 12 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Friday through Sunday. On the positive side, there are generally enough tables to accommodate the surge during busy times on weekends. However, during the week, they often don't have enough dealers allocated to cope with demand, sometimes leading to long wait times. Despite these restrictions, if you enjoy playing 2-5 cash games, you'll be adequately served. While I do have hope for the future, the restrictions on poker choice and availability are a severe limitation for a city of this size. 2 stars. 3. Service and experience. Service and experience is a mixed bag. In terms of overall casino experience, Crown Perth is amazing. It has a huge entertainment complex with great aesthetic, comfort and atmosphere. It boasts great shows, restaurants, high-end shopping and spectacular views. It's always a delight to be on site and it's hard to feel unhappy when you're in such a stunning setting. With respect to the poker room, the floor managers and dealers are superb. In their effectiveness and professionalism, they are well across their craft. Poker dealers are fast and skillful, and the room is managed with diligence, efficiency, and process. The poker area is also comfortable, with many television screens available for watching live sporting events, and staff will happily change channel along request. Meanwhile, there are some limitations. Staff cannot call for wait service, and wait staff walking the casino floor come to the room only sporadically, meaning you have to wait to order a drink unless you get up to go to the bar, and nothing is complimentary except for the coffee machines that are away from the poker room you have to get up and access. If you buy one at the table, it costs money. Staff also don't have FPOS facilities, and chips are strictly not allowed to be taken off the table, even to purchase drinks. This trips up many people who only have a card or whose chips are all in play. Frankly, this is a frustration for customers, and the casino should probably solve this. The other major issue is the wait times. Due to chronic shortage of dealers, the casino is often unable to flexibly open additional poker tables, even when the demand clearly requires it. This can lead to some truly unacceptable wait times in some cases. And should a seat become available, you only have 7 minutes to race to get to it, so if you're entertaining yourself during the long wait, it's a real risk. There is also no app or remote mechanism for adding or removing yourself from the wait list, meaning that even if people have left, the list is going to take 7 minutes to get to the next person, which is incredibly inefficient when they're not showing up. This is another area where technology really needs to change. There are also no chip runners, and so buy-ins must be made at the check-in counter or at the table, which can hold up the game somewhat. However, this is more than made up for by the efficiency of the dealers, who are among the fastest around. It can get a little loud on weekends, but otherwise you'll feel comfortable at the tables with excellent airflow and climate control. Overall, Crown is a great place to be. However, the particular frustrations in getting a seat and being served while you're there bring it down relative to other rooms. 2.5 stars. 4. Rake and Rewards. This is where things go off the rails whenever you play poker in Australia. Standard rake is 10%, and in Crown Perth's 2.5, it's 10% capped at 3 big blinds. That's a hell of a lot of money going off the table each hour, and enough to put a lot of players off from playing at all. At Crown Perth, this is made worse by the fact there are no jackpots, bad beats, high hands, or any other bonus of any kind. Although there are membership card bonus points you do accrue while you're playing, which gives for discount meals, discount accommodation, and other useful perks. These benefits are modest, but they accrue usefully over time. The rake for the 5-5 game is much better, with no rake being taken for pots under $50 and only $10 being taken for those up to $150. Max rake for large pots is 4 big blinds, however. Rake is high in Australia generally because of the high wages, high cost of business, and high cost of living. It's just something that happens across the continent. On the positive side, however, not only is tipping unnecessary, it's basically prohibited for gaming staff, and so you won't be tipping dealers, though you might tip wait staff should you choose. The rake caps are generally okay, however there's no getting around the fact that rake is high, particularly when the lack of jackpots is taken into account. Even tea and coffee must be purchased from wait staff, so 2 stars. And finally, rules, quirks and issues. I've already mentioned how chips cannot be removed from the table, even to buy drinks. And this underlines an overall theme. Rules are strict and they are enforced. If there's any dispute, floor managers will review camera recordings and make a determination using the letter of the law. And this is clearly a matter of taste. On the one hand, things are fair. Regs don't get special treatment, and in accordance with the Australian character, dealers have no trouble controlling action or dealing with misbehaving players. Some rules are a bit oppressive, however. Phones must be face down at the start of each hand and remain so until your hand is folded. Headphones are prohibited except for tournaments, which aren't even being run presently anyway. Dealers won't start dealing until blinds are out, and if someone has missed a blind, they will definitely need to post. They cannot buy the button or come in on a straddle. You cannot blind check, and walking away from the table is an insta-fold even if you're all in. In fact, the only option a player has that deviates from standard play is a single under-the-gun live straddle. The only exception to the rule's strictness is when a player bets out of turn, which is bizarre. It's not punished at Crown really in any way. Their investment is not committed if players before them change the action, and they're not held to the same action should a player before them check. This could lead to some angling, but as you know, when someone bets out of turn, it's almost always an honest mistake, and the same holds true here. The only big rule deviation is in terms of the order of showdowns and turning your cards over. At Crown Perth, if a player is all in, they always show first in order of stack size from the shallowest to deepest. Moreover, if action checks around on the river, then the last aggressor rule doesn't hold and it's an order of action. This is okay, except it can create a bit of a Mexican standoff when players in early position delay turning their cards over in the hope that someone else will turn over a winning hand. But generally speaking, the rules at Crown Perth are going to satisfy most players from across the world who will know that they'll be treated fairly. Although the overall score by category at Crown Perth leaves much to be desired, the truth is that poker at Crown Perth is beautiful, comfortable, professionally run, with room for improvement. Similar rooms with the same score elsewhere may be more annoying, poorly maintained, dirty, and an overall bad experience. This is not the case at Crown Perth. It's just that poker isn't really an experience at Crown Perth in its own right, and sits as a kind of poor cousin relative to the rest of the complex. So while a trip to Perth City is a top destination as an overall holiday, choose to play poker at Crown Perth while you're here, but don't fly to Perth to play poker at Crown Perth. 2.5 stars. We review new poker rooms regularly, so if you found value in this content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons because that's the only way YouTube will know that this is the case. Also, if you have access to any Facebook groups or poker forums, consider sharing this video because getting more views is the only way we'll be able to make more content. In the meantime, have you been to the poker room at Crown Perth? If so, what did you think? Is there anything I've missed or recommendations you'd like to make? Others watching would love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, if you want to see other videos, you can do so right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.